Whatever it is, out with it.
Oh, now what I say is worth listening to.
Only when it doesn't slow us down.
You're in an awful hurry. We need to get this right. We cannot afford to fail.
We won't fail if you stop dragging your feet.
With that very passive-aggressive reply, we are back with more Banishers Ghost of New Eden. So you can definitely tell that Antea is ready for all of this to end. And Red, of course, is pretty much coming to terms with everything that we've done, starting with the first person that we took their soul from to the very last person that we took their soul from. So we have secured Antea's resurrection, but there are some things that they have to work out, namely that relationship stuff. That's pretty much what it is. It's relationship things. As we've been playing through this, we've kind of touched on a lot of cracks and issues in their relationship, which I think is really well written, because no relationship is like super perfect, and they may seem super perfect, but Antea is unwilling to talk about her past with Red, despite the fact that she loves him. And Red is the more emotional of the two. Despite that, they're pretty much two sides of the same coin. They deal with guilt and loneliness in the same manner. Red made a passing comment that he used to drink a whole lot, and that's how he would run away from the guilt and the depression after war. And Antea physically runs away from problems. She doesn't want to talk about it. She just doesn't want to deal with it, so she runs.
What can I do for you?
We found a page ripped from a book. Yeah, do you recognize it?
Let me see. Is this from the Trismegistus riddles? Yes, it seems to be. Why would you bring me one mildewed page from an amusing but harmless little book?
Why would you fail to disclose that you'd given another ritual to another friend?
It was a long time ago. I said after Caleb I'd distribute no more rituals, and that's what I've done. Not done.
We know. But we're looking for Grace Pennington now, and we were hoping you'd help us find her.
Who?
Really, boy?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mistress Antea. You said Grace's name, and it is my reflex to protect her.
Ever heard of someone named Seeker?
Seeker? No. Sounds like a title, like my true pursuer. This Seeker... Is she Grace? Is she alive? Do you know where she is?
We think she's Grace. We hope she's still alive. We're trying to find her.
We think she's hidden herself away behind your dissimulation spell.
Then you'll need to unravel it. Shouldn't be too difficult once you're armed with the salient facts.
When was the last time you saw Grace Pennington?
It had to be a few days after I brought her the cloaking ritual. When I returned to visit, the hut had disappeared. Which makes sense now that I think of it.
That's it? You never again tried to find your best friend, your only friend.
Well, you see, some weeks later the first whispers of witchcraft started to fly about town. I kept my head down, and Grace was better off out of it. I was right. And I'm glad she escaped. Strange to think of her again after so long.
How does the ritual work?
It creates illusions so effective that they deceive even the keenest eye. There are more effective cloaking spells, but the Trismegistus riddles do have a simple elegance.
The short version, please, ending with how we break it.
Yes, of course. To achieve that, all you need is the caster's full name and the symbol used to make fast the illusion.
Grace Pennington and a triangle pointing downwards.
Well then, Now all you need is a simple counterspell from the same book, and... Oh, my.
What now?
I'm afraid I left my copy in the Araloo. In the void.
That's just great. Just great.
Yes, but in my defence, once you've retrieved the book, dispelling Grace's illusion will be like a walk in the park. Comparatively speaking.
Thank you for your help.
Could you tell Grace that I'm still her friend? I'd be glad to see her again.
Once we found her, we'll be glad to tell her. Come on then. Talk to me. Don't hold back.
You act as though all is well, as though I had not died. I'm dead, and I'm not all right. I'm not all right at all, but you pretend not to see it. That makes me angry, and it makes me sad.
I never wanted that.
I know, but it still felt that way.
As you can see, all of the emotions that should have probably been talked about when they first reunited before we set out on this journey are starting to come out. And I understand it's a stressful situation. And Taya died trying to protect Red from a ghost that they've never encountered before. And Red, after promising himself that he would not take another life, has been taking lives left and right to help his girlfriend, to help his partner resurrect. And Antea more than likely feels guilty because she sees the toll that it takes on him, but she's probably still upset either way because she died. And she wouldn't have died if Red hadn't went to the meeting house by himself. But she can't blame Red because Red didn't know the nature of the ghost. He didn't know what they were capable of. Charles warned them, but Charles couldn't say fully what exactly she was because he didn't know. And so, Red made a mistake, but that mistake cost them.
The incarnate is hidden away here. Stains bar the path.
You have my thanks, Miss Duarte.
Much obliged, Sir McWraith.
Look, I couldn't talk about it.
Couldn't talk about what?
You accused me of pretending not to see that you're dead.
That's how I feel, Red. You have to accept it.
I couldn't face your death. I admit that. Your death left me desolate. I knew in my heart that it should have been me. Then you came back. I snatched at the chance to undo what had been done. I don't wish to deny your pain. No. I'm just trying to deal with mine.
Wow. That's... I hadn't thought of it that way. Thank you for your honesty. Pay attention! Did we miss a few?
Get lost, would you? Our book isn't here.
Our book might be up there.
I might need some help.
I might be able to give it.
This looks like Lami's stuff. Only more scattered.
Even with the void shifting, the book should be around here somewhere.
Got it. That seemed a little too easy.
We have the symbol we need. Let's go back to the mountain and find her hiding place. The pattern needs to line up.
see anywhere that could help.
Keep searching here. That's almost it.
Did you hear that?
First things first, Red.
Where'd you go, you wee bastard?
Running away, are we? They never learn, do they?
Get the clothes, you bastard. Rolling again, huh? Try this on for size.
Make a run for it! It's up to no good. It's up to no good.
Get back up. Bending the rules, are we? This isn't going well. Hey! Get back here now! Where'd you go, you wee bastard?
Get out of there! It's about to strike. Going to attack.
You're on your own here, Red. This isn't going well. What? Who's next?
With the book and everything that we've learned about Grace, or rather Seeker, now we are able to go to her hiding location, speak with her, and finally unlock the void in Saban's Island so that we can walk through it and get back to New Eden to lift the curse. It's so much. It's so much. Like, we had to go talk to 3 different people in 3 separate locations and then find a book in the void, defeat a boss that we had already defeated twice before in the void, then make our way out and use the knowledge that we'd learned speaking to those 3 different people and the book to find where Seeker is hiding. And I understand why the developers are doing this, because we've seen these characters grow from where they started and now we're seeing where they're ending. And it wouldn't make sense for the game's story to gloss over all of that growth. Not to say that other games or comics, books, media, like movies, stuff like that, haven't glossed over character growth in favor of having a simplistic story. But the core tenets of this game is that you need to let go. That's what they're telling us. Like, whether that's letting go of your past and realizing that you can make a new future for yourself, letting go of your regrets or your resentment, especially in terms of like wanting revenge and stuff like that, letting go of the person that you love the most and allowing yourself to grow around the grief of having that person no longer in your life. That is the core of this game. And while we have chosen the option where we don't do any of that, and then Tay is just gonna come back to life and just be like, hey, I'm okay, let's continue being banishers. I appreciate the writers have written a story where it allows for space for these characters to air out their thoughts, to air out their grievances and issues, and not for it to just be kind of like glossed over after one big argument and suddenly they're fine and we're at the end of the game and we have a happy ending.
Watch out! Spectre possession.
You're done.
we're getting close to the end of the video, so I want to go ahead and say my goodbyes now. So thank you so much for joining us. We are almost done with the series. We just have 2 videos left. I did say previously that there were 33 videos in this playlist. So after we speak with Seeker, now that we know where she's located, we're going to go and do a void walk, make our way to New Eden, and then hopefully resurrect Antea and end the game. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to let the rest of this play through, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.
This is it. Seeker is behind this wall. Let the veil of unknowing be lifted. Let us see through the eyes of Grace Pennington.
Ceridian?
You're surprisingly slow, even for a Banisher. You're late. Or early.
At last we find you.
Missed me that much, did you? You could have hurried. You always think you have more time, and suddenly you don't.
It wasn't in vain. We have come far and learned much.
I hope so. But don't think you have it all figured out. You're still Banishers, after all.
We are indeed, Grace.
So, you know.
When I asked if you'd known Deborah Comenius, you denied it. Why?
Seeker never met Deborah. Grace did. I am no longer Grace, and I don't like to speak for her. Deborah was Grace's teacher. She encouraged her to be herself, to become who I am now. They did not know one another, but without Deborah, I'd have never met Ceridian. And with Ceridian, my entire life changed. Deborah suffered terribly, and the fate she met was exactly the fate I fled. I accept it now. I accept it all. Ceridian has left a hollow, and I am called to fill it. I accept. I am ready for my role in this world. Are you ready for yours?
We looked for you everywhere. Why did you leave the Maya Marshes?
I needed time, silence, my own space.
Hidden away behind Lammy Haskell's dissimulation spell.
Ah, you know about that. It held a full 7 years. Isn't that impressive? This is the place where I embrace solitude. This is where I made it a strength.
Did Ceridian find you here?
Not physically. I dreamed of her. I dreamed of the Maya Marshes. So, I went there. And I found the island.
Quite the thing. Meet your dream in person.
I suppose so. At the time, I was more focused on the fun I'd had getting to the island.
Also,
Our first dance. I admit I ran away. But we have danced many times since then. Old Mosshead, Ceridian and me.
the time has come for us to go back to New Eden and face the nightmare.
Yes. Balance must be restored. You must face your fate and end the curse.
Ceridian said the only way back was through the void. But the pond seems broken. We need your help.
Of course you do.
We're listening.
Remember Ceridian's words. If you were to defeat the nightmare, your hearts must be open to each other. No barriers. Your bond must be strong.
We've never been stronger.
This void breach is not like the others. This one leaks. This one sits at the rotten core of the entire region. You must leave whatever still burns in your hearts at the threshold. If you don't, the void will kill you.
Do you know where in New Eden Town the void shall lead us?
The trick is to focus on your happiest memories and let them take you there. At least that's how it's always worked for me.
We'll try.
And when at last you succeed, I too shall return to New Eden Town. I shall see you there.
And with that, we'll take our leave.
Bring peace to this troubled land and your troubled hearts, my friends. I know it's not easy to hear, especially when it's me saying it.
On the contrary.
Thank you, Seeker. We'll do our best. Let the veil of unknowing be lifted. Let us see through the eyes of Grace Pennington